Listo.
Mapa me llamo. Mapa. Chao, chao. Listo, Pau. Pau.
En vivo.
All right. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to Holberton Demo Day. This is a day that a bunch of our holbies have been preparing for. First things first, we want to welcome the companies that are joining us today, that are viewing the talent that we have and the type of projects that our holbies have prepared. We want to thank also all those people that are joining this just because you're interested in Holberton. And please do stick around if you want to see the type of things you can learn if you join our program. Now, what is Demo Day? Holberton is a 9-month intensive program, full-time program. And in the last month, our participants work with companies or in a project that they have designed themselves so that they can prove the skills and the knowledge that they have acquired. Demo Day, this therefore is sort of the summit, is the end point, is the highest moment during Holberton where you can see again the talent that comes out of our program. Okay, we want to thank especially Aranda Software this day. That's one of the companies that has joined us in Capstone Projects. That is the program that is behind the Demo Day. Okay, so thank you, Aranda, for being part of this initiative. Aranda develops IT solutions and services and works in infrastructure management. So thank you, Aranda, and we want to thank all the companies that are behind the Capstone projects. Now, how can you reach us if you have ended up in this space? Please do reach out to us via social media if you have questions about Holberton. And without much more further ado, let's jump straight into the demo day and the projects that our holbies have prepared for you today. But before we check out those projects, we have Hernando Barreto, our president and executive director, who's going to join us briefly for a few words. So I'm going to check with the team if Hernando's there. Okay.
Yes,
Hernando,
yes, he is
thank you
already
for
here.
joining us. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Juancho. I just would like to take a few minutes to congratulate all the Holberton grads today, the Holbies, for the tremendous effort during all these 9 months of immersive training. And also congratulate the team of Cohort Holberton, the staff that has been working very hard in order to get all the nice and good results that we are going to see today. And of course, to thank you to all the industry partners, all the companies that have been working with our holbies in order to get to know their talent and also to give them some feedback on their process, on their training process. Then, thanks a lot. I don't want to take too much time on this because it's a long journey today, but just want to say again, thank you and congratulations to all. Thanks.
Thank you, Hernando, for your words and for joining us this important afternoon. For many of us, it is indeed a very exciting moment, not only for the holbies, but also for the staff. We have seen you grow in these last 9 months, and we really do wish you the best of success now in the next stage that is, for most of us, looking for a job. Know that we will be there for you and supporting you, and that, of course, it is our interest that you succeed and that you manage to meet those goals that you have planned for yourselves. Okay? Now, right before checking out the projects, I want to introduce everyone the jury that we have today. We have 3 fantastic profiles. We have Johan Zamora. Firstly, he is a Holberton alumnus. He is a currently front-end developer at Wizline. And also, Johan is proof that Holberton works. He has managed to place himself in the tech industry. Johan has been part of the Holberton staff as well. And all in all, Johan, you are a valuable member of our community. So thank you for joining us today as part of the jury. Next, we have Santiago Martinez, a serial entrepreneur. Santiago has funded several for-profit and non-profit ventures. Santiago's mission is to solve humanity's greatest challenges through technology and entrepreneurship. And currently, he's in charge of industrial IoT at Traction. Traction is a fast-growing Latin American company focused on sensors at the moment and based out of Brazil. And last but not least, this afternoon, we have Julian Builes. Julian is, of course, also an entrepreneurial, managerial, and techie profile, and is a great fit for this space, of course. He is currently focused on growth hacking at The Big Sound. The Big Sound is a fast-growing company that sells Latin American music online. Previously, Julian also worked at larger ventures such as Rappi and as a senior iOS engineer at Rappi again, just to name one of Julian's experiences. So thank you once again, Julian, Santiago, and Johan for joining as jury in this space. Having said all of this, welcome everyone once again. And now let's get on with the interesting bit, with the most interesting bit, our holbies projects. The first team comes from Bogota. Well, Bogota, we manage Bogota as a single region, so Bogota, Barranquilla, and Ecuador. And we have the team, the three little developers software, and worked on the project called Data Lab. Our presenter for that team is Oscar Angel. Oscar, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Juancho. Okay, so I'm going to share a screen, and I'm going to start. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so hi, my name is Oscar, and I'm going to be presenting to you our capstone project, which is Data Lab. Data Lab was developed by our team, Three Little Devs software. So the table of contents are first, the problem, second, the solution, third, the results, and fourth, our team. Now, the problem. Okay, our problem is related with a company which is named Alas. And Alas business consists in delivering information to customers through a subscription service. However, Alas webpage was hacked a few months ago. So at the moment, Alas, one, doesn't have a webpage, and second, its subscription service is working through an FTP service system and file transfer protocol. So we as a team, to find the best solution, we need to look at the problem from different perspectives. First, we need to look at the problem from the user perspective, but also we need to look at the problem from the administrator perspective. Having done this and using our user stories tool, we came up with the conclusion that Alas needed three main features for its solution. First, we want to give back Alas its identity on the web. We want to give back Alas its existency. So we needed to reestablish its web page. Second, we wanted to give Alas the power to the administrator to help the administrator tell the subscription permits of the users. So for this, we needed to build a user database management system. And third, we also wanted for the users of Alas have the best user experience of the service. So for this, we needed to create a user service interface. Now, to look at for the stack and the best solution we can have in this infrastructure for our program, we have we get to manage to have the React at the front. We also have Apache as a server, and we also put Node.js in the as a business layer. Finally, the data layer was MySQL. Now, after 2 weeks of hard work and coding, we came up with this beautiful solution for Alas. We were able to reestablish its web page by doing its landing page. Also, in this landing page, the users are also able to look at the products that Alas serves. Also, the web page has a section where the user can contact their users. And second, the users also can log in and register in Alas. Also, for the results, we were able to create a user web application where the administrator can help the subscribers and the clients. They can allow their permits to deny or access the permits to the service. And finally, we were able to find the best user experience for the Alas users, doing a user interface where users have a better way of downloading the files. Now, our team is Jose at the back end, Rodrigo at the backend DevOps. We also have Diana at the front end and myself at the database. Here, a short demonstration of our project. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Oscar.
Thank you, Oscar. Yes, now the space is for the jury to ask any questions in case you have doubts or you want to go deeper into one of the features or aspects that Oscar presented.
So I had a specific question. My first question was this: if a business already spent resources and time in building a page, why would you create a whole new page instead of helping them restore what they currently had and was working before the attack? Why did you start from scratch?
Sorry, yeah. Yes, basically, the web page was hacked, so they lost all their information and all the code. Yeah.
They lost all the information and they lost the code as well. Okay. So the other thing that wasn't clear to me is the problem we're solving. What is the problem that you're solving? Are you solving the problem for Alas? Are you creating this to sell it to multiple businesses? What is the customer that you're targeting, and what is specifically the problem? That wasn't entirely clear to me.
Sorry. Yes. So the company's webpage was hacked and Alas lost all their code. Because of this, we got to reestablish again Alas webpage. We are only targeting Alas solution. Yeah, but this business can also be used to solve other companies that can have similar problems where their web page is also hacked and all their code can be lost.
Gotcha.
We as a team.
I don't know if the other judges have questions too. I don't want to hijack the session.
Yeah, I also have a couple of questions. Like, I want to understand what does Alas exactly do? It's like an international logistics company. That's what I saw from the content, but didn't get it very clear.
Sorry,
I have a multiple. Okay, that's it. What do they do exactly?
Yeah. So Alas is a company that serves information to customers about custom tariffs. This is done by a subscription service.
Okay. That's it. Sistematizar. Okay. And who are you targeting for the website? Who are you targeting? Like their clients, of course, right? Who are
Yeah,
your clients?
it can be, I mean, Ala's clients are people like do a lot of commerce. For example, it can be uh, zona libre, zona franca,
Mhm.
yeah, for example, or companies that commerce or import merchandise to Colombia or also export merchandise.
Okay, now what I want to understand is like, why did you decide to make the user experience like that, or like how to like organize the content like that, and like what are you making it? How are you making it easier for the customer? Like before, like they have like another website, so I want to understand like what happened between before and now. Like, how do you make it easier to the customer to understand the company, or
Yes.
to convert, or to book a call with the with the salespeople? I want to understand that. Like, how do you thought about it when you were designing the website?
So at the moment, the way Alas is delivering their service to their clients is through an FTP service. Basically, the clients download some files, and this we wanted to do it in a more proper way instead of using the FTP service. Previously, before the hack, it wasn't this way, but because the web page of the company was hacked and all the code was lost, the company used as a second as plan B, used the FTP service just to deliver the files to their customers. So what we did, we create the web page, and we also did a web application where the administrator can manage the user subscriptions. And also we did a login and registration server for the users to log in the web page, and so they can download the files according to their subscription instead of using the FTP.
Okay, so at the end you solve also a problem for like the current customers that they have. It's not
Exactly.
just something for marketing, but it's something also for the relationship with their current clients.
Exactly. Right now it's functioning, but it's not the way the company wants it to do it. It's functioning through an FTP service, and it's as you see, it's not too nicely, you know, like there is no login or register, and the user, yeah, he only sees the like a basic web page with some links on it, and that's it.
Okay, on my side, I just wanted to ask, I know you mentioned that the site was hacked and they lost everything.
Yeah.
So I guess you dealt with a problem specific to this company, but did you take any new security measures into account? Like they were previously hacked. Did you do something special so that, so in order to prevent that does not happen again? Or something similar?
We use some security in the login and registration. That was the security we applied, but in other terms, we are using I mean, right now this is like a demo of how the product can work in yeah, for a demonstration, but then we need to scale it up and put more of the security to prevent any further hacking.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you all for your questions. The idea is precisely that we can dive in deeper in our holbies presentation. Thank you, Oscar. It's clear that you have prepared, that you have worked a lot, and fantastic job that you have presented today. Thank you once again. And now we can move on with our next team. So congratulations.
Congrats, Oscar. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Congratulations.
Congrats to the three little devs. Now we have our second team from Medellin called Creators. And what they have built is called MichiBot. Our presenter for that team is Christian Martinez. Christian, welcome. The floor is yours. We're going to wait a few seconds until Christian is set up. All right. Pau, if you can provide us with a little support so Christian can join as a panelist. Thank you, Pau.
Sure. I already give it the access.
All right, we have Christian right now with us.
Yeah,
and
he's here.
now you can join. Thank
Hello,
you.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I'm going to share my screen and start my presentation right now.
Wonderful.
Okay, so our team is called Aprendiendo con Michi. We made this in Spanish because the end user is going to be the kids from studying primary school from first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade in the zones that are far away from the city. Let me explain the table of contents. The first content is questions. The second is our inspiration. The third is technologies. And the fourth is team members. Okay, so to start the presentation, let me ask you a couple of questions first. The first question is, how many people outside of the big cities do you think have internet access? And the response is 23.8% of households outside of the urban areas have internet access, which means that 77% of the households doesn't have access to good internet connection. The second question is, how many people in Colombia have a computer? And the response is also a grim response, which is in 2020, 60.7% did not have a computer. So most people use phones, and people outside of the cities use data to communicate with each other. That's why we created Michio. That was our inspiration. The people outside of the city in faraway areas that doesn't have an actual connection and have kids, and they need to get educational resources. So what is Aprende con Michi or MichiBot? As you can see in the right is a WhatsApp bot that once you send the message, it tells you that it has books. It asks you which grade you want books for. First grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, or fifth grade. And then it asks you if you want Spanish books, math books, nature sciences books, or social sciences books. And then it sends you a PDF file. And we choose specifically PDF because they're pretty lightweight and they can be downloaded with 4, 5, or 6 megabytes of data. And once the PDF is downloaded, it stays right there in the phone forever. And they have a lot of content to go through. The technologies we used in this project were Twilio. The Twilio API was the one that allowed us to automate the messages. Python to automate the messages, Flask to create the server, Unicorn to implement the server, Nginx as the server implementation, and we also use a load balancer with a HA proxy, and that was pretty much the deployment of technologies. And the team members. Let me present the team members. The first will be Jael Uribe. He is a great Python developer, and he was the one in charge of doing all the Python code and implementing tasks. I was in charge of the servers and implementing Nginx and setting up the servers. Laura is a great front-end developer and a creator of the content, and Yvette is also a content curator and DevOps developer. And yeah, reading is a dream with open eyes because we want to provide the kids with books. And thank you. That was the presentation.
Thank you. Really cool. Really interesting idea. I think it makes a lot of sense. So what stage is the product in? Is this something that you have in beta? Do you have some test users? Are you still in development?
Yes, so we need to make it an actual company. We need to make it an actual company with a root and with a register in as a actual company, so we can implement the chatbot in a website, in an actual website WhatsApp phone number. But this is a beta, basically. The chatbot works, but we can't implement it yet until we have an actual business registered under that name. Because of Facebook rules, not because of us, pretty much.
Okay. Are you connecting directly to the WhatsApp API, or are you using a third party like MessageBird and stuff like that?
We're using Twilio. The Twilio API let us automate the messages.
Twilio. Okay. So is this thought out to be like a nonprofit, or are you looking to monetize off this project?
Yeah. From the beginning, we thought of it as a nonprofit organization, but I mean, for like self-sustainability purposes, the way we could monetize this would be adding some type of advertisement. So we can do revenue with ads, and that way we pay like the Twilio on the servers, and it'd be like a great full-on project.
Wonderful. Thank you for your questions. We need to move on because of the schedule, but I want to invite you, holbies, now that you have created new things, new projects, probable ventures, to reach out to people like Julian and Santiago and other entrepreneurs, right? They can be great mentors. They can be great mentors, or even if you're looking for a job and have already people like Johan in the tech industry, reach out to them as mentors for getting a job, for starting a company, right? They can ask these type of uncomfortable questions that are actually good for you and for your projects. So,
Juancho, can I make a 20-second comment before you go to the next presentation?
Sure, go ahead.
Just basically wanted to say to the guys, I love the presentation, like very cool project. I just invite you, because you are working on this thing, I invite you to look at a startup in Medellin that is called HackU. They actually do like something like this, like they educate people from companies through WhatsApp. And I think there will be synergies there. And second, I just wanted to say that like, I love the project and its mission, like from like the mission and like the business case, or like the whatever business or nonprofit case. But also I see a lot of applications. I see a lot of applications of this technology to banks to send the month documents that people ask for, like when you ask for like your monthly certificates of your movements, and in a lot of stuff that you just ask documents from the government and whatever. So I think the project is amazing. There are companies doing this, so you should reach out to those companies like HackU, for example, you want to work. But also I see a lot of applications when you apply for jobs, or if you want to make it into a company. I see a lot of applications for this technology to be used, not just in one industry in education, but in many industries. That was it.
Great, Santiago. Again, this is the kind of feedback you can get from mentors, right? And from connecting with other people. From Holberton, we do have a contact with HackU. So Christian, if you want to reach out to them, reach out to me on Slack. And that's also the type of connections we can provide. All right. Thank you once again, Santiago, Julian, Johan. Let's move on with our next team. And congrats, Christian, and all the creators for developing MichiBot. All the best with your venture. Let's move on again to the Bogotá, Barranquilla, Ecuador region. We have the team called Cube Dev, and they have created something called Cube Ventures KPI Manager. The presenter for the team is Juan Camilo Gonzalez. Juanca, welcome to the space. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Juancho, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Juan. And okay, I'm going to start the presentation. Okay, let me know if I can see. Okay. Okay, please let me know if you can see my screen, just for checking purposes.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Perfect. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Juan Gonzalez, and today I'm going to present you Cube Ventures KPI Manager. We are Cube Dev, and these are the members of the team. Maria Paula Medina as front-end developer, Juan Bocanegra as full-stack developer, and Juan Gonzalez as back-end developer. Cube Ventures is a Colombian startup accelerator that supports early-stage tech companies through education and mentorship. KPI is an important tool to know the status of a company and helps management to take corrective actions to improve the performance of a company. For startups accelerators such as Cube Ventures, getting KPIs from the companies, from the startups within their portfolios is a complex process that consumes a lot of time. Because of that, getting KPIs in a practical way is a priority that could help Cube Ventures to identify faster opportunities of improvement for startups. The website that we designed can be accessed by two types of users, startup users and administrators. The startup users can insert KPIs from the respective startups, and administrators can create users and startups, and they also can access to all KPIs from all the startups within Cube Ventures portfolio. Here's an example of how to navigate the website if you are a startup user. And the first thing that you see is the login page. So to access the main site, the main page, you have to insert an email address, a password, and then you click on the login button. Then the first thing that you see will be a dashboard. And if you want to add KPIs, you have to go to the load KPI button. Then a form will appear. You complete the information, and as soon as you complete it, you click on Save button, and then you will return to the dashboard. Now, here's an example of how to navigate the main site if you are an administrator. The first thing that you will see is the list of all the startups associated to Cube. On the left side, you will see a navigation bar with several links. Those links are profile, startups list, new startup, and new user. Also, if you want to find information about one specific startup, you can use the search bar. Okay, another thing, and if you want to see the KPIs from a specific startup, you may click on the name of the startup you're looking for. Then you will access a dashboard with the KPIs. Each KPI has 4 different types of graphics, and each graphic, in each graphic, you can select the time frame that suits you for your analysis. Okay, about the technology that we use, for the front end, we use React and RESTful API architecture. And we also use Flask, SQAlchemy, and MySQL for the backend. Thank you so much for your attention. And if you have any questions, we'll happy to help. And here you will find the contact information for each of the team members. Thank you.
Wonderful, Juan. Thank you. That was very clear, and I'm sure our juries have some questions. I just want to note that you mentioned your team members, and that was also very clear and throughout the presentation. So make sure that you highlight the people you were working with, and congratulations to all of those behind the things that you present, right? Not only the presenters. We congratulate you all. Now, Julian, Santiago, Johan, do you have any questions, perhaps?
Okay,
Right.
I can start sharing the screen.
Okay, thanks, Juan, for the presentation. Looks interesting. Something I did not quite understand was, is the application supposed to be simply a KPI management tool, or are you supposed to, like, for example, an administrator, like graph all of the KPIs from different companies and take that data and transform it into something else that can be used, I don't know, for statistics that can be sold to other companies or stuff like that? Because that was like the main thing that I didn't quite get. Like, what, like, who would the administrator part be catered to? Like, who would use that?
Okay, got it. Thank you for your question. The main idea is the first thing that you said. It's more like an administrator to make easier for startups to send the KPIs to an key accelerator in this case, and then with that information, they will be able to observe and to get that information easily. It's not that they will do statistic studies or research. It's like a visual tool to improve the response of Q vendors to help these startups.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Gotcha. So I think I understand now, because that was also one of my questions. Basically, what you want to do is help out companies, entities that congregate different startups and help them grow and try to diagnose if they're doing well or not so well, right?
Exactly. Just what you say. Mm-hmm.
One of the issues that you may find is that startups tell a story, but the story really is told by the numbers, and every startup doesn't really know what to measure. So it's going to be, I think, a little bit of education as well as the technical aspect to help founders understand what is important and what are the KPIs that you need to measure. And the other thing is that not all the metrics are the same for all the startups. Every startup is different, and the metrics for each startup could be represented differently. If I have a transactional model and you have a subscription model and you're a social media company, it's going to be hard to compare us. So you might want to consider maybe segmenting a specific niche of companies, because otherwise, if you go too broad, you're going to have a hard time measuring success. It's not going to be possible in an easy way, right? Especially for an early product like this one, which is fine. I understand the problem. You might want to consider what types of companies are easiest to diagnose and what tools you can put to help them get the help they need from accelerators. But I think it's a cool project, and I understand how it kind of brings value. Really good job.
Thank you, Julian, for your kind words. I really appreciate it.
For me, I think this is amazing, because this is a huge point. Like I've seen like this huge pain either in venture funds and in founders, and also like in CFOs. Like basically, no founder has time to submit KPIs for venture funds. Like they don't have time for that. Like usually, like you have you have 10 or 20 investors, you cannot do this for everybody. You know, like it will take so many time. And I think the solution was like cool venture thing. But I think it would be if you want to like go forward with this, like it would make sense if it's like a totally different thing from one accelerator. It's like if it can be the financial data room of like every startup, and like you can give access to all the venture funds that invested in you or the angel investors, this would be amazing, and it could have like a great effect. Everybody would use it, because for example, where I work, construction, we do this manually. Not manually, I mean like we automate it with SQL, and we use this app called Diagram. I don't know if you look at this graph, into this thing, and we try to connect all the data and do it for ourselves. And then we print some of these graphs and we send it not to investors who already invested. We send it to investors who are going to invest, because we don't have time for for the other investors that already invested. So I don't think it makes sense for accelerators that want to take care of people. The only way that it will make sense is that it can be for a startup to do it just once, and then you share it with everybody. Like, not, I don't think the model is like one accelerator, do it as a wide level, nobody will use it. I think everybody will use it if like it's actually the startup who has access to it and can share it to everybody. So I just love it. And also on the other thing is that I think it also helps other applications. For example, that's pretty much what we do. For example, in IoT companies that send predictive models to other companies, right? Like we send a lot of data to them based on their sensors, right? So like I think it has a lot of applications even for you to pursue this, or even to ask for a job if that's what you're looking for. Like you can reach out to a couple of companies that do similar things in other in other user cases.
That's
Perfect.
really great feedback.
Oh, yeah.
I had one last thing. I had one last thing to add. I don't know if you had a technician check your internet connection when you are at your house, and it sucks if you have clutter, like it always sucks. So you always have this tool to check how fast the connection is, like internet speed tests, or like fast.com from Netflix. It would be really interesting as a growth and acquisition strategy if you were to open this up and give startups the opportunity to diagnose themselves in a comparative way to other startups in their similar niche. In that way, you can bring a lot of data in and get companies hooked into the product. And I think the other way will be through the funds, like our partner was mentioning, like Santiago was mentioning. So that's just another thought.
Okay, thank you, Santiago. I really like your feedback. As Julian said, I really appreciate the information that you gave us. Oh.
Wonderful. I'm sorry to cut you short, but I do want to celebrate the fact that our jury is so engaged and interested in the project. Thank you, guys. We really do appreciate your feedback. I'm gonna ask you to try and keep the feedback a little bit shorter, but I do not want to interfere with the quality of the content, okay? So of course, if you want to provide feedback, the space is yours. Moving on, Juan, congrats to you and your team. Now you can go on and celebrate.
Thank you, Juancho.
There's
Thanks.
other teams lining up, so let's welcome to the next team from Medellin again, called L times 2, with the project they've built called Find Me. And the presenter for this team is Lisette Arias. Lisette, welcome to the space. Once again, the floor is yours.
Hello. One moment, please.
Hello. Your mic is a little bit low. You might want to check that out. We can hear you, but the volume is a little bit low.
We don't hear you.
One moment. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you repeat that? The mic is working, but the volume is very low. Let's try and toggle that, put it up.
Now.
Now it's way better. Julian, Johan, Santiago, yes? Great.
That's it.
All right, Lisette, go ahead. Welcome.
Okay. Hello, my name is Lisette Arias, and with my partner Isabela Gomez, we are going to share this project. It's called Find Me. These images that we have just shown are scattered in social networks, such as Instagram, Facebook, and posted in the streets, because it's not an official site that brings together the profile of lost pets. It should be noted that these images are of pets lost only in the metropolitan area and during the last month. Our project aims to create an impact on this reality we live day by day. Find Me gathers the information scattered in the social network so that people can be reunited with their pets. If someone has lost their pet and is looking for it, enter in the website Find Me. To make the report of the lost pet, you must be logging. In case you don't know have account, you must be create one. This is the homepage with general information on how to use the site, step-by-step instruction, and much more. Then you must click on the Generate Report button, and for this, it's important to fill out the request and relevant information so that it can be found easily or more fast. This is the request. If someone finds a pet, they can search the site to see if it belongs to someone else and make the reunion possible, like this. Finally, these are technologies users for frontend, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, and helpers like Bootstrap. For the server, we use Apache. The backend was implemented in PHP with the Cohort framework and database in MySQL. And tools like Visual Studio Code, One Server, Postman, and High School. Execute. And thank you for seeing me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lisette. We really do appreciate the work you've put into this project. I'm going to open up the mic again to the juries, Julian, Santiago, and Johan had to leave because of personal matters. So we will have Julian and Santiago now judging your projects, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Santi, I don't know if you want to go first. I don't want to.
Go for it. Go for it.
I have a special connection with a project like this because of something that happened to me personally. I have a dog that I lost before and it was stolen. And actually, I was able to get it back in 3 days because I made a post viral on social media groups. So the problem that you're exemplifying, I lived it personally. So I know that this is an issue. What I did worked for me. It doesn't work for everyone. So I definitely think that there's a problem to be solved here. And I do think that there's definitely a market. I think that people go crazy for pets. One element that I would motivate you to look into is the social element. I think that this could be a powerful tool if you're able to bake it into existing social tools and to build social virality tools inside of the platform. And I would definitely focus it more on mobile. I saw a strong focus on desktop on the demo. I don't know if that is because of the technologies we were using, but I would think this would be 95% mobile, 5% desktop. Because of the kind of people, because of the situation when you lose a dog, you're not gonna go find a computer to report your lost pet. You're gonna use your phone because you're in the street, you're running around trying to see where to find your dog. So those are some quick thoughts that I have off the back of my head.
Very, very valuable
Okay,
feedback.
thank you.
And interesting that you can also relate to the kind of problem, right, that this team was trying to solve. Santiago, I'm glad, of course, Julian, that you found your dog. But of course, Lisette, if this kind of tool would exist, I'm sure it could impact many, many people. You have definitely found a problem and an opportunity here. Santiago, please go ahead.
I'm just impressed by like all the.
Well, we've lost Santiago, but hopefully
He was so impressed he left.
Yes. Too much impression you caused.
while he comes back, I have something else that I wanted to add. Something that you could use as a tool to help you monetize on this would be to help people receive and give rewards for the pets. So if you're on the platform and you say, I offer you $1,000 or $1,000,000 pesos, that will incentivize people that don't even have the pet to get the tool to become like bounty hunters. That would be like a really interesting twist to make the product economically viable. I think Santiago's back.
Yeah, wonderful. That's a great idea, Julian. That's called citizen sensing as well, right? Everyone, and the idea of crowdsourcing, he said, everyone could pitch in and maybe even get some money or rewards or incentives. So they actually report lost dogs. Santiago, please go ahead.
I just wanted to say that the congratulations, I really like it. I was also thinking, I also lost my dog like 2 years ago, in the beginning of the pandemic. And the social part of it, like I found it through Facebook. So I was also thinking when looking at it, like, oh, if you just could like have the buttons to share it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and make it simpler for you to make it in many channels or many groups. I remember I had to add like thousands of groups, like maybe not thousands, but maybe like dozens of groups when I was looking for my dog. So if that could be possible through this, that would be awesome. Like I was just thinking about it. But yeah, I love the complexity of the project, all the technologies that you use. Very impressive.
As for me, the only thing I can say is that it looked interesting. It disconnected for a while for me, but I was also thinking about the issue regarding the security. Like when you're looking for a dog, you know, there's bad people. Someone could just say, I found your dog, come here, or something like that. So definitely it's something that could be taken into account, perhaps with like internal messaging channels that are verified or something similar. Could be something to look into.
Thank you, Johan. From a technology viewpoint, that's great feedback as well, right? Let's think Airbnb, for example. How did they solve having strangers or other strangers' places? And try and look at that kind of platforms. Like, of course, the jury has also mentioned before. Try to look at others that are doing similar stuff. Thank you, Lisette. Congratulations. And thank you once again to the jury for the great insights. Now we can go and celebrate. And we move on to Cali. We have two last groups from Cali now presenting. The first team from Cali is called the APSS, or Apps Developers. And what they have built is called Tienda Burbuleta. The presenter for this team is Chanel Bejarano. Chanel, it's great to have you with us. Please go ahead and show us what you've created.
Hello, I'm going to share my screen. Give me a moment, please.
All right. Meanwhile, I can share with you that I almost lost my dog like every other day. So if I eventually lose him, this tool will be very helpful. Okay, we can see your screen now and we can get started.
Okay, good afternoon. We are the apps developer group, and we have created a web application called Burbuletas. When defining what we want to develop, we focus on three main objectives. The one objective was to implement what we have learned in Holberton, not only in the technical part, but in having learned to learn. With this, I go into point 2, implement new language and frameworks. Do something that we have not done, and to finish point 3, something that lasts. And here was where we found our real challenge. Deliver something that is functional and durable. At this point, after debating and even proposing ventures, we realized that it was not necessary to go that far. We have entrepreneurs in our team that we have contribute together to make their business grow.
Thank you, Johan. Yes, just note, please, Chanel, We are looking at the same slide since you started.
Now you can see
Okay.
the other slide. Okay.
Yes, now we can see the slide, what to do. Please continue.
Okay. Okay, and this is our web application architecture. We use DNS with nate.com, UFW with firewall. No, okay, it's a little slow. Okay, we use, this is our web application architecture. We use DNS with nate.com, UFW with firewall, web server with NGX, database with MongoDB, DigitalOcean with server, and in backend, use Node.js with Express, and frontend HTML, CSS, and React. Okay, and so was born our e-commerce app called Burbuletas, which have divided into 3 steps. The steps, oh, one moment, please. Okay. You can see a video?
Yeah, it's
Yes?
being shown.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Thank you. The steps are showcase, user, and payment gateway. In the development of our MVP, we focus on the first step, the virtual showcase. Here, we invite everyone that if you want, you can visit the website tiendaburbuletas.social, where you will find, as we mentioned before, the virtual showcase of the enterprise of Sandra Hoyos, our entrepreneur and DB manager. You can navigate between categories of products and details of each of them. Have access to their social networks, in this case, for different methods, for contact to place order. For example, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. So we already have something lasting. Now, what about learning to learn and new things? Well, everything is included in the MER stack that we had never used. DB with MongoDB, front with React, the back with Node and Express, and finally with DevOps, configuration server, and deployment of our application from DigitalOcean, nate.com, and certified SSL with Servboot. Okay, we will continue with our development by implementing the user registration, shopping cart, and then move on the payment gateway and order or register. This is the next step for our project. And our team is made of 4 women, beneficiaries of the scholarship of support of the WWB Foundation in association with Holberton. We are Andrea. She enrolled frontend. She learned about React from zero. Paula Carvajal enrolled backend. She learned Node.js and Express. Sandra Hoyos with database. She learned about MongoDB and she is owner about this product. And me, Chanel Bejarano, I'm configuring server and I work in a part DevOps. So thank you for your pay attention. And do you have any question?
Wonderful, Chanel. I want to highlight the fact that you presented your team again and that you were sharing with us the different technologies that you learned, right, from scratch. So that's a great effort that, of course, all of you do, based on the tools that you've learned at Holberton, also having to learn new languages, right? Having to use new resources and new tools. So congratulations, Chanel, and also congrats to all of you for the scholarship that has supported you throughout this time, and to
Yeah.
the fact that, of course, today we have had many women, couple women presenting, and that also is proof of the diversity of our community. So thank you once again, Chanel. Now going back to the demo and to your
Thank you.
project, Julian, Johan, Santiago, be my guests.
And go ahead. It's a nice project. I like the design of the platform. Well, e-commerces on the software side are actually quite complicated because basically the amount of security that you need to implement when you want to have payment platforms and other things related to distributors and sellers, it's quite complex. So it looks interesting. I mean, if you wanted to keep on working on it, I would suggest that you look into like existing methods that you can implement to your actual project. So things regarding the user registration and login, the payment gateway, all of that is really complicated and it's just a hassle to deal with personally. That's why many companies just use like solutions, or even people use stuff such as Shopify or WordPress or stuff like that. So I mean, the project looks good. Just wanted for you to take that into account because it can become quite complex to continue in that path of building everything by yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic, thank you.
I had 2 points really quickly. The first point is a really positive one, and I think that this is great. You guys are all women team. Every person in the team it's a woman, and I think that's great for different reasons, because it makes you a very strong team that probably can connect well. You talk the same language, and specifically because women are more detail oriented than men. That's just how I see it and my general experience. So I think if you guys manage to work well together, you'll definitely make a great team. And that also helps you sell your product, sell your company, and sell you as a product using the team. So I think that's a great leverage. The one point that I had was to really ask yourself, what is it about this that is unique? Or what would you want to build on top of this to make it unique? Because what I'm seeing is it's a storefront. And like Johan was saying, there's a bunch of different solutions that are already very dynamic and very evolved that already do this. So if you wanted to pursue this path, I would find a way to make it unique. And I would also study something like Etsy. Maybe Etsy would be a good point of reference for you.
I just wanted to point that, like, I see, like, I don't know what is the purpose. I always imagine that the purpose, some of you want to start like a company, like regarding the project that you did, that some of you want to like find a job regarding the project, you find a project that you did. And like, if what you're looking is like looking for a job, I would say like, this is the place to be, because like since last year, like e-commerce infrastructure and fintech infrastructure for e-commerce business is growing a lot. Like, I don't know if you look at Sumer, which is like a new Colombian company that raised like millions of dollars recently. There is one called that does this, but like on the financial part of like on the payments part. And I do see a lot of opportunity for you, like that you develop this project, because you can actually apply for this kind of startups or create one that does e-commerce infrastructure for small businesses, which is a segment that is growing a lot. So I just see a lot of opportunity for you guys to apply at those kind of startups that are building the infrastructure for e-commerce, because they will love that you actually build this infrastructure for one store, which is great.
Thank you so much.
I had one last point to add to build off of Santi's comment, and that is that to me, e-commerce is broken, still really broken in Latin America. But e-commerce is a beast, it's a monster. So another point that I would like to make is for you to find one portion of e-commerce that you can do well and focus on that, like Stripe did for credit card transactions, and that Shopify did for like the page builder, and just focus on one component and borrow all the other components for all the other companies that have done a good job with it. and maybe focus on Latin America and focus in bringing all of those together.
Thank you.
Great. Once again, I can't emphasize enough how good it is to have people with experience providing feedback. So holbies, do look out for that, okay? And thank you once again to the jury for your time and comments. Moving on to our last team. Congrats, Chanel. You can go and celebrate, and congrats again to you and your team. All right, let's move on with the last team, also from Cali. And with this team, we wrap up today's demo day. I want to congratulate everyone who has presented today. I know there's a lot of people in the backstage that we have not seen, but know that we are very happy for you as staff, and that we really do wish you celebrate today, because the effort you have put throughout this journey is huge, and we are witnesses of that. So without much more further ado, let's go with the dream team who has built Ahorrap. It's a word game, Ahorra App, okay? It's Juanse Perea presenting. Juanse, it's great to have you with us. Please be my guest. The floor is yours.
Hello, Juancho. Thank you so much. Okay. Can you hear me and see my screen? Please confirm.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, welcome to this presentation. The team members are Mateo Garcia, Juan Sebastián González, Sandra Calero, and me, Juan Sebastián Perea. We are called the Dream Team, and we are going to talk about our capstone project, Ahorrap. So, money. Everyone wants their money to last long, to always have money in their pockets or bank accounts. But have it ever occurred to you that when you receive your salary, your payment, you're really happy, but a couple of days later, like your money is gone and you don't know how did you spend it? According to DANE, the most important Colombian statistics institution, 77% of Colombian families couldn't save money in 2021. This is a terrible indicator that we need to control our money. So how do we do that? Well, in my case, the first thing I did was to take a piece of paper and start taking notes. But a piece of paper, you can lose it very easily, and you can it's broken really easily. So bad idea. The next step was to take my cell phone and start using Excel. But I ask you, have you ever tried to use Excel in your cell phone? It's terrible. So we thought about a solution that is portable, digital, and easy to use. That's why we thought about Ahorrap. Ahorrap is a highly usable, responsive web application, and this is how it works. You can log in with your Google account. Then the dashboard will appear. The dashboard will show you a summary of your financial personal finances. Now it's time to add an income. You add the amount, category, date, and description of the income. So you know how much money you have. After this, it's time for a really important step, the budget. The budget is your plan for how much money you are going to spend. With this budget, now you have a plan, now you have the control. The remaining step is that always that you spend money, you put it in the app. So you add a transaction, this time an expense, and you keep adding these expenses. This is the idea, to monitor your expenses, to always compare it to the budget that is your plan, and to gain control of your finances. You can see also in this app a history of your transactions. It will be shown right now. A history like this, you can delete or edit a transaction. And all these changes will be shown in the dashboard with this useful graphic. Okay, so this solution was possible because of this team. Mateo and Sebas Gonzalez were backend developers and did the deployment. And Sandra and me were the front-end developers. This is the architecture of our solution. For the front, we use React, CSS, and HTML. For the backend, we use Fast API to build a RESTful API and MySQL for the database. And the deployment, we use Docker, Nginx, Ubicorn, and DigitalOcean. These are three big challenges we encountered. First, learning from zero, React, or DigitalOcean, or Docker. Communication, to communicate the front and the back to understand us, between us, was really important. And to expect the unexpected. We learned that from beginning to the end, any problem that you don't expect can occur, and you have to be prepared. So this is our contact info. This is a QR code for the app. Thank you so much for your attention. Any question is very welcome.
Juanse, well, it's the last team, and I feel that you have wrapped up this demo day in the best way. Congratulations for your project. I find it fascinating personally, but I'm gonna open up the mic to our jury so they can comment, and then we will wrap up this session altogether.
So Juan, thank you for the presentation. One thing that I didn't quite understand is you mentioned you use React, and in the video you had a cell phone, but it was using the browser. So is it a web application or a mobile application per se?
Yeah, it is a responsive web application. We did this way because we wanted to learn React. So yeah, we did it. Wasn't like thinking about the best framework to use or best technology, but what we wanted to learn.
Okay, that's okay. There's existing applications similar to this. I mean, they do similar stuff. It is fine if you do a web application, but for mobile, in this case, it's just for you to think about. Usually what people do is create a PWA, which is basically a web page that you can sort of store in your cell phone, and it saves up like an application. I don't know if you know about that, but several web pages do it, and it's still a web application, but it's got an extra functionality that allows you to save it in your cell phone as what a regular mobile application would look like. So that would be a good alternative instead of doing a native application. And I guess also because it would work like that, you wouldn't have to worry between having a regular web application and a mobile application and storing the data in one with another. So it would be a way to like try and figure that out easily without changing that much.
Thank you. How it is called?
I'll write it in the chat.
PWA,
Thank you.
Progressive Web Apps, PWA. Thank you, Johan. Excellent feedback. Julian, Santiago.
So I have one piece of feedback, and it's probably common to all of these kinds of tools. How can you create a frictionless way of gathering data? How can you find a data source, an entry point to a person's expenses? I think that's a really important question that you should ask yourself and see if there's anything that you can do as far as the product side, because otherwise it's going to be very cumbersome for the user and probably not sustainable to have to enter every expense manually. I think I see the value of the product. I for sure want to save money. I definitely want to see where my money goes, but I wouldn't enter manually every single transaction that I'm making. It's going to take up too much of my time. So I don't know if you can process transactions on bank accounts via CSVs, maybe. That could be an option. And I don't know if some of these banks have open APIs. If it's Latin America, maybe not. An alternative for you to look into, it's a company called Mint. That's in the United States. And there's another one called, I think it's called Expensify. And Expensify does something different where you can take a photo of an invoice and it will translate it into text and extract the data from it. That's more advanced technology behind it, but it really makes it a lot easier because all you do is take a snapshot of each receipt and it extracts the data out of it. So those are some ideas for you to consider. And you could look and research these tools and see how they do it because they have been doing it for a while in a more mature market.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really agree with that feedback because I have tried to use a couple of saving apps and I use it for 1 week or for 2 weeks. If it's January 1st, you have your New Year goals, use it for 2 weeks, but you stop doing it because it's not automatic. Like we humans, we always try to optimize our time and we don't want to spend our time on that. But I want to say this because what I feel is like what is gonna set you apart as software engineers from other software engineers in the market is that like how you make things easier and like even less technology, but more about how to solve a problem that is gonna like always like thinking on the customer side, on the human perspective of what people really will do at the end is what will set you apart and even will make you leaders within an organization. Like every time that you think, okay, like is people really gonna use this, or like is it the right way to attack this problem? Because maybe the right way to attack this problem was to connect to, I don't know, to your Gmail and read like the message that Bancolombia or to your SMS messages and like look at what Bancolombia said and look at the name of the company and say, oh, this was good. Oh, this was, you know what I mean? It's like and then look like, oh, you're spending too much on food. You should like spend less. This is just an example. But what I'm saying is like I love the part that you wanted to learn React, but just an advice is like what is gonna set you for all the projects, what is gonna set you and will differentiate you against other software engineers in the market is really how you like set what the problem that you want to solve is and how people will actually interact with that solution that you are building.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful, Santiago. With your last piece of feedback, I think we can wrap up today's session in the best manner because that idea sort of encapsulates all the ideas that our jury has shared with you today, Juanse, and with all of the teams, right? Please do check and be very thorough with your value proposition. What are you trying to solve, right? Are people going to use it? Are there other people doing this? And if so, can you learn from them, right? So I think those are the main takeaways from this session. We do appreciate, of course, all the effort that you have made. Congratulations to all the teams for all the effort, for all the time you've put, not only in the pilot projects, but throughout Holberton. Now, today, we want to wish you the best of success, the best of luck, and that you keep pushing, right, for your dreams and for those goals that you want to achieve. Don't forget that you can always reach out to amazing and very intelligent people like Johan, Santiago, and Julian, and try and make them part of your network, right? Having said that, again, Johan, Santiago, and Julian, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing with us your knowledge this afternoon. And thank you, holbies, those that are in Cali, in person, in Bogota, in Barranquilla, digitally, and in Medellin, of course. A big hug from all of the Holberton team. And that would be all for today. We hope to see you again. We'll tune in. And thank you all for being part of this great community. Julian, Santiago, Johan, all the best with your ventures, with your projects, and much of success for everyone tuning in today. Which, by the way, I want to thank. We had people tuning in from Bogota, from Medellin, from Cali, and from London. So this demo day became a little bit international. Thank you to everyone that's we're sticking around throughout this transmission, and have a happy Friday and a fantastic weekend. Thank you once again, and see you around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye
Best of
bye.
luck to you. Best of luck to everyone, and I hope to see you guys progress as much as you want and chase your dreams. Have a good one,
everyone.
Yes,
Interesting.
thank you,
topics.
Julian, for those final words. Santiago, thank you as well, and Johan.
Yeah, thank you guys. A lot of success. Bye bye.
Fantastic. Thank you.